All righty, what's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, dive into the TA. All right, guys, we did not get the best looking close here. We actually did push all the way up into the last hour of the day, and then we had a complete sell-off. This kind of opens us to go either way from here. I am just going to tell you guys, watch today's low and today's high tomorrow. That is probably going to be your key to that next move. If we are to break underneath 484.10, or let's just say we gap down underneath that level, come back and retest it, we are going to be looking for that move down to 479.56 to 476.18. We'll come over the 4-hour time frame. You could see right over here, right? So this thing has been holding the 4-hour 21 EMA the whole time, guys. If you come down, this is the spot to hold. All right, so 479.56. Ideally, that just holds there. Okay, but worst case scenario, we print like a 4-hour hammer over here, and it stems all the way down to 476.18, gets bought up, and we end up holding right here. We're going to have to see what happens. We don't know what happens, considering, how we close out today, guys. We literally can go either way from here. If we take out today's high, which will be yesterday's high tomorrow. All right, so if we could get over today's high at 489.03, we're probably going to test the 200 daily moving average and then push up to 493.62 resistance. All right, so that's why I say today's highs and lows, those are going to be your key to tomorrow's price action, to guiding you through tomorrow's price action. Now, here on the 15-minute RSI, guys, we came into today with the bullish divergence. If we took out this low, I was looking for you to take out the pre-market low. That was just going to create a 15-minute bearish bullish divergence. I wasn't going to overstay my welcome over there on the short side, okay? But then, guys, we literally we ran straight into yesterday's close. Well, not yesterday. Now it's Friday's close. Straight into there, we got sellers stepping in right there. Okay, so sellers are kind of stepping in where they need to. All right, as of right now, I'm not going to say which direction has control here in the smaller time frames. We can go either way from here. We could print a bullish reversal candlestick from down here if we head down here tomorrow. Clear as day. Higher time frames are still bullish. Come over here to the weekly chart, guys. Again, I'm just going to say this is not something that suggests we're just going to be selling immediately. It's just not. I'm going to point to some other charts in these videos that, also suggest we're probably not going to be selling immediately. All right. But, as for tomorrow's move, just watch today's low at 484.10 and then today's high at 489.03. You break under 484.10, you better be open to revisiting 476.18 to 479.56. Coming over here to SPY. And again, I am going to say, just watch today's low over here. You can watch today's high, but I'm just going to say focus on QQ. You have a clean roadmap over there on QQQ to pay attention to. But on the downside over here for SPY, we have 561.70. Break today's low at 561.70. We're talking 559.06, and then you're going to have that big spot down here at 553.68, where you kind of had this little range you had for 3 days, and you broke above it. Okay, coming down to the 4-hour time frame. 559.06, guys. If you break under that, this is the next spot. But unlike QQ, honestly, you don't want to be coming back down to that big spot. You don't. All right, at that point in time, you're going to lose the 4-hour 21 EMA. This 4-hour cloud can flip bearish, and maybe we get a bit more of a pullback here. Maybe we end up coming all the way back down, probably, 550 around there. I don't think we'd really, start selling off here. Really drastically. I just don't think we have the higher time frame look for that right now. I think we likely continue a little bit higher this week, and then maybe we print that reversal candlestick stemming from higher prices. But I don't think we're just going to reverse off of what we did today. If we pull back into Tuesday or Wednesday into FOMC, all right, Mr. Jerome Powell, then we're going to look for buyers to step in off of Jerome Powell. All right. On the upside, if you can break above 568.38, you're probably going to have a clear move up to 573 to 575.35. All right. So that's the big horizontal resistance right there that you broke down from. Already know we got sellers there. So expect sellers if tested up here. But you also have that 200 daily moving average. Guys, NQ, ES, QQQ, SPY, SPX, nothing has hit the 200 daily moving average yet. For this reason, I am just letting you know, if we see the short-term pullback, it's presenting a buying opportunity. Not just for this reason, but it is, we're very likely going to come in contact with the 200 daily moving average. And on this day, we missed it by like 10 cents. All right, I know you're real close there. It's 15 cents right there. You're real close. I know. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I am guessing on one of these tickers, QQQ, SPY, ES, and Q, we are going to be testing the actual 200 daily moving average, and we're going to actually test it. We're not going to come within 15 cents of it. Okay, so I am looking for further upside, but now I'm just going to take it over here to NVIDIA. All right, so NVIDIA is something that has been basing out here for a few weeks now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. You have not broken above your base. Break above the top of that base at 115.10. This thing can get going. I'm not going to say if we are going to get a short-term pullback here or not. I'm not really sure. You could revisit 111.92. But because of what we have here on the higher time frame, guys, this is something that, we're typically not going to be selling off of this. This is something with, it looks just like this. All right. It looks, let me find a similar scenario over here. Okay. Honestly, I would just say right over here, but we can come over here to the daily time frame. You just see how things are tightening up here. All right. You got this clean horizontal resistance right there. Well, it reminds me of something like over here. It reminds me of something like over here. Reminds me of something like over here. You're getting tight, like just down over here. We pretty much have this on the weekly chart. So this is on the daily chart. We pretty much have that same setup on the weekly chart. We're very likely going to test the 200-day moving average sitting up at 125. All right. So personally, guys, I'm looking for, this to be a shallow dip here in the short term if we get it. And then I'm looking for it to be bought up to higher prices, and then maybe we start reversing from there. But you got things like Meta, you got things like NVIDIA right there, and I just don't think these are going to get crapped on right now. I think we are likely going to see continuation off of what we printed last week. We broke out from this base over here on Meta, pretty strong move, and honestly, we're probably going to get that continuation style candlestick here on the weekly time frame this week. I don't think we're going to just be selling off here, and if we do sell off here, we're looking for buyers to defend. So where are you going to be looking to buy over here on Meta? All right. If we can break above 604.34, we're probably not just going to stop at 610 resistance. We're probably coming all the way up here to 633.88 to 640. That is that next big area is right over here, which happens to align that 0.618 fib. I'm just going to take that level off. We're just going to watch 640. Okay. So really break above the 604.34. Probably just going to continue pushing up here to 640. That's how that is setting up. Okay. And I pointed out on the weekly time frame, like this is not something that, is probably just going to fall flat in its face the following week. It's not. All right. So if we do see the pullback, we're looking to buy 580. That's going to be the test of the 200 daily moving average. All right. If that does not hold, we're looking for buyers to defend 558.49. All right. So that is that. But, real talk, guys. I'm just going to say Meta and NVIDIA, they tie into this bullish thesis I have over here for this week. I think we are going to be seeing higher prices. If we do, get that bearish scenario tomorrow and we take out today's lows, okay, then you guys know where to be looking for buyers to defend. All right. But, I am not sure if that's going to be the case. Over here on the daily time frame, if we gap up into near today's high, just into this upper wick here, either it's going to form a bearish engulfing candlestick, or get bought up by the end of the day and print a lower wick, and then we continue higher off of there. Or you just gap up here and you go. All right. And if you could take out 489.03, you're just going to go. All right. So that's what I'm personally going to be paying attention to tomorrow. And, moving forward, the macro point of view here is you're looking for this DAP, DAP over here. You're looking for this dip to be short-lived, shallow, and you're likely going to get bought up by the end of the week. If we do end up coming back down here to 580, perfect spot to print that lower wick here on the weekly candle before shooting back up. All right, big moves can happen out over here on Meta, so it is going to be a focus for myself. All right, guys, and I'll just point out some trade setups going on right now, guys. So first thing I want to point out, guys, is going to be Hood. I pointed out the other day, you now came back, you tested that 21 EMA here on the daily time frame. You printed a bullish hammer candlestick off of there. It does have decreasing volume, but you are finding buyers stepping in exactly where they need to. And, you know, I'm just going to say, I'll say it again, this setup is the exact same thing that we have on this setup. I know PLTR is down in the after hours, right there. Okay, it is literally right there. We are in this candlestick. I'm not saying it's going to be exactly like this, but we have this exact same weekly candle setup over here on Hood. We have the inverse head and shoulders. There's actually another ticker that I forgot which it was. It wasn't over here. HD. I don't remember which name. I did put it somewhere on this watch list. All right, but the next one. Kava. All right, so that's Hood over there. We're looking for some moves off of Hood. If you could break above 51, all right, break above this spot right here. This thing is probably going to get above 54.84 very quick. All right, and you are likely going to start this momentum move to the upside. And at that point, dips are buying opportunities. So pick how you want to trade it. Okay, you could trade it pre-breakout over here, put on your swings over here in this range, risk the low of the range. All right, which is going to be 45.56. Or you can wait for the breakout above 51.30 and you could be trading for that move up to 54.84. And at that point, dips are buying opportunities and you are probably going to start heading back up into this area, 60 to 66.91, which is your current all-time high. All right. But I will point out over here on Kava, guys, all right, if you pull back into 93.73 tomorrow, is likely going to present a buying opportunity, and you are likely going to get bought back up to 97.98, which was today's high. All right, so there's that. Next one I'm going to point out is over here on Tesla. All right, so Tesla did print, you know, I know it's a red bar there, but you do have the hammer candlestick over here on the daily candle today. This was the third bullish candlestick you printed, or at least we're not going to say bullish candlestick. This was the third lower wick you printed off of this 274.69 spot ever since you broke out from it over here. So you very clearly just in this tight consolidation. If the market does decide to just start, you know, grinding higher here after today's little pullback into the close, then Tesla's probably going to make its way back up to 294.86. Second you get above here, guys, is the second when, you know, one side of the trade here capitulates, and you're probably going to get a short squeeze going. So keep it on your radar. You don't have a reason to trade it underneath here. It's the same situation as Hood. You can pick it how you want to trade. Okay. You could put on your swing down here in consolidation, or you could before premiums pump, or you can just wait for the actual breakout. You're going to be paying higher prices over there. That's okay, because at that point you have odds in your favor. All right. So it's either breakout or you're playing before the breakout. It's one or the other here. But it's definitely something that is still setting up here, and we just have to be patient for it. But these are the types of things that suggest to me, yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting much of a pullback. I think we're probably going, you know, if we see it, probably going to get bought up by end of week. All right. PLTR and HIMS, they currently are reporting earnings. It is never a good idea to hold options into earnings. It's not, honestly never a good idea really to play earnings. You don't know. Maybe you think you know, but you know, you don't know how the market's going to treat it. It could have phenomenal earnings. You don't know how the market is going to treat it. This thing has been running into earnings. Personally, over here, so the trade idea that you know, I'm going with over here on PLTR and HIMS, guys, is you're not holding anything into earnings, but in the case that we don't get much of a move by tomorrow, or we get a move down by tomorrow, that will crush your call premiums. They will absolutely get obliterated over the coming trading sessions. And we are looking for this thing to get bought up. We are looking for this thing to take out 125.41. If it decides to consolidate here for a little while, that's fine. We're looking for bullish consolidation before that move back up to 125.41. Same thing over here on HIMS, guys. All right. So it's gapping down right now. This weekly candle, I'm just going to say this really kicked off the momentum over here on the weekly time frame. This kicked off the start of a move. It was your signal right here that this move is starting. So, you know, although, you know, it's not a good idea to hold into earnings, I'm going to tell you right now, all right, this thing, if it opens up, if it does not get this big juicy move up or down, premiums are going to be crushed. You know that odds are, if this thing pulls back into either here at 38.69 or $35, it is likely to be bought up at one of those places. And that is where your trade comes into play. If it were to gap up without you, who cares? Okay? It's what it is. It is what it is. You can't do anything about it. But if the trade is to present itself, that is when you could take advantage of these earnings plays, getting, the options just getting completely creamed. And then you can go in after the fact and you can actually play the chart how you wanted to play it in the first place. And right here, guys, we're looking to buy dips over here on HIMS. I think this move just started. And I think, overall, this dip this week, I think it's probably going to be bought. So we'll see how we open tomorrow. All right. Aside from that, guys, I got cost for you guys. All right, so this is something we already talked about in the weekly update. And welcome aboard to the channel. If anybody is new here, I know we got a lot of new people over the weekend. Congratulations, you're part of the gang now. You now have what you need consistently to make money in these markets. Okay, so welcome to the club.
That was easy.
Welcome to the club. All right, guys, but real talk, this thing is likely going to continue pushing. It does not have to pull back. It can pull back, but those pullbacks are going to be just presenting buying opportunities. We saw how the market closed. Cost is not something that typically trades with the market. When it has its setups and starts going, it likes to start doing its own thing. I think we can get some squeeze days over here on cost, which are just going to look like that. All right, not like this slow grind we're getting. I think we're in this stage right now. We can start to accelerate here as we get our head above 1,018.83. All right, so, real talk, short term, I think we could see 1,030 to 1,040 potentially this week. All right, guys, and with that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy today's video and you found value, okay, because real talk, anybody who knows what to do in this market, okay, all right, you just came about some valuable info. You know exactly what to do with the information we just gave you. And if you don't, just know you can come trade live with me. That link will be down below. But I do my best for absolutely no cost to you in these videos to explain the price action, the potential scenarios that we can be getting. And, I know price action, guys, it's not always going to be perfect. All right. But if you can understand, all right, the psychology behind the moves before they actually happen and what is likely matching things from the higher time frames to the lower time frames, you're going to likely have a better time than if you are not doing so. All right, so far, the market is down in the after hours. We're going to have to see how it opens tomorrow. Break under 484.10. Look for that move, the lower to 479.56, maybe down to 476.18. But if we take out today's high at 489.03, look for that continuation style move up to 493.62. With that being said, everybody have a lovely rest of your day. Please remember to leave a like if you enjoyed today's video. I would appreciate it. YouTube algorithm would appreciate it. I see these other YouTube channels that just they don't they don't give their viewers as much as I try and give over here for absolutely no cost. And yeah, I don't know why the YouTube algo hasn't really picked this up, but hey, if you could just do me a favor, scratch my back and help the YouTube algorithm pick up this channel, I would appreciate it so much. Appreciate you guys, and peace.